that I write music, typically I go to an instrument. I don't play any instruments at the moment, but I'm a firm believer that music's in the heart. So it doesn't matter if you can play or not. So I usually just play a few chords on a piano or just strum um, some notes on a guitar, and then whatever comes out, flows out. I just I just let it come, and I hit record on my phone, and then I just let whatever flows out come out. And then sometimes it happens like that. Other times I just like sit down, I listen to music, and I kind of like visualize sometimes what I would like to say, or how, and I just like to visualize certain lyrics, and then so sometimes they'll come that way. It just depends on the mood that I'm in. That music, writing music comes out differently. I would say that it's not easy to write music because I it's 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 just something like any art. It's not easy to do, especially when you're passionate about it and you want to make sure that it's great. You want to. Sometimes I get too far into my head where I overthink things, and then the songs just don't come out right at all. And then sometimes I don't feel like doing it, and it's just my emotions get the best of me. But I think when I know that songwriting comes out the best for me is when I don't care how the song turns out to be. I just completely not care and just allow it to come out. And those are the best times that I feel like I write the best. Hold. That was a very interesting way that one came about. Okay. So I was writing a song. Well, I was actually revisiting a song that I wrote a few years ago before I moved out to Los Angeles. And what, so what, and while I was writing that song, I was having some severe writer's block. And I could only, because basically I was revisiting the bridge. I wanted to redo the whole bridge of that song. And all I could think of was the word hold. And I'm not sure why I could only think of that, but that was all I could think of. And so I decided to set that song aside and decide to write a whole new song. And I based it around the word hold. And it reminded me of sometimes some of the things that I hear from people when they feel like they're in relationships that have such a hold on them, and that and that kind of helped me get out of my writer's block, because I started to sit back and imagine what that must feel like. And it actually brought me back to a time when I was younger, and I saw a little bird fall. It was a baby bird. It didn't have any fur on. It didn't have any of its the hair on its body yet. It was completely newborn, and it was still alive, but it had fallen off of the nest, out of his nest. And I, being a young person, I thought I was rescuing the bird, and I tried to scoop it up in my hand and give him milk, and I was just like, oh, he's trying so bad to stay alive and probably get back to the mama bird or something, and get back into his nest, and I wanted to help him. And I could just see it in him looking at it, that he wanted so bad to be there, because otherwise he would die. And then, so when I was imagining of what it must feel like to be stuck in a relationship that has such a hold on you that you can't seem to get out, it took me back to that time with the bird, and I'm like, oh, it must feel just like that. It's like something has such a hold on you, and you're trying so bad to like get out and be free. And so that's where that song came from, and that helps. So I feel like that's part of how my songwriting is the best, is when I can sit back and imagine and connect it to past experiences that I have. So that's how Hold came about. It's funny because like growing up, um, I started off singing in the back seat of my mom's car. She would um, have us. She would take me and my sister and my younger brother all the way to visit family in Georgia from Virginia. And so to keep her up on this long trip, she would have us sing the ABCs. And so we would constantly just be in the back seat just singing ABCs, and she'll tell us to wiggle our voices. And so we would do that for, I wouldn't say the whole trip, but a long time. And that's how I developed, I guess you would say, vibrato. And I always loved music. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just always been a passion of mine. And it wasn't something that I thought about pursuing professionally. It's just always something that I felt like I needed to express myself with. And so growing up, I would constantly be listening to my favorite artists and try to match their sound and try to sound like them and try to match their pitches and their tone and everything. So I would constantly be trying to sound just like them. Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Bob Marley, just a ton of artists, Mariah Carey. And so I would do that constantly, and that's what I feel like what has helped me a lot. I never got vocal lessons. I did, however, get a few lessons when I came out here in Los Angeles. And one of the things that I take with me is the breath support. That's the number one thing I felt like I struggled with the most. I could have the tone, I could have the pitch, it doesn't matter. But if you don't have the breath support, all that other stuff doesn't matter. And so I finally learned how to support my sound with breath. So I would go swimming all the time, and I would do these breathing exercises, and that's when I start to really start to get my voice into its into a better into more to strong to getting it. I can't say. I try to get it to sound stronger, and so I would say that if anyone's ever thinking about pursuing music, singing, make sure that you get that breath support as your foundation, and everything else can just come on top of that. But that would be the biggest thing, and I think that's what helped me a lot. I think it's awesome. I'm like very, very surprised and happy about it. I honestly, I'm very grateful because no one has to give any of their time to me or pay attention to me or anything like that. And it's not that I'm like, oh, look at me, or anything like or that per se. But I'm honestly looking at this as like, wow, you guys are really supporting my journey. Thank you so much for that. Because without you, it would be a lot harder. I'm honestly there are times when I really want to give up and I just don't want to do this anymore. And I just like, why am I even doing this? But then I'll get all these messages on Twitter or Instagram, and then all these people are just saying, hey, or just saying, how's it going? Or how's the music? Or just anything. The fact that they're even speaking to me, I'm just thinking, oh, okay, that's why I'm doing it. They obviously where I'm at, even if I'm not the greatest, or even if I'm not where I want to be at the moment, I feel like I still have made a connection with someone with what I do have at this moment. And if that can happen with what I have right now, then that's awesome, and that's what keeps me going a lot of times. I would say that go for it for one thing. Don't not try anything. I think that if you really are passionate about something, go for it. And once you do try it at least, you'll kind of discover if it truly is what you want to be doing. And I think that it's just life is a journey. So if music is what you want to do, try it out. And I encourage people to try it out. And the first thing to start with is just putting yourself out there. That's what I did. I put anything out there, even if it's not the greatest piece of work, I put it out there. And it's just taken me one step at a time. And that's what it is. I'm literally taking one step, and okay, and here's the next step. And so working on social media didn't come until 2 years or 1 year after I put my first thing on YouTube. So it's just one step at a time. And the first thing I would say is create something and put it out there. The future. Okay. Let's see. I would say, okay, right now I'm getting ready to release a book. So, hopefully that, well, I just, hopefully it becomes a great thing. Again, it's one of those things where it's one step at a time. Who knows what's going to happen next? And then, but the goals that I have right now is that I want to start performing. I want to actually be face-to-face with people. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going to start putting my show together, putting what it is that I want to, do on stage in front of people. And then I'm going to start in Los Angeles and start playing at little places. And then hopefully I'll go ahead and expand and play from city to city, state to state, country to country, But right now I'm just trying to put together a show.